Hey, welcome to another video in this series for RadialZ features. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can sync new brushes to your library so that they appear in your pop-up library as well in the edit menu so you can add them to your custom radial menus. So it is very straightforward, but it's important that you know a couple of things. So what I have here on the right is my custom directory that I set up inside here, the ZBrush setup. So if you've seen the previous videos on how to set up these, you'll know that if you go down to the bottom here where it says choose your brush folder, you can set up any custom folder in any drive that you have, whether it's resources or whatever it is, and you can save it there, and then you can sync your library, and it's going to look for all the brush files that you have in that folder, and it's going to sync them. So I have already done that. That's why if I go to the pop-up library here, you see that I have 1,161 brushes synced, right? So that means if I go to ZBrush and I press my old one, which is my custom shortcut, I can load up all my brushes. You see 1,161, and I can search my entire library. I can scroll through these, and all of these folders that you see here, those are a mix between the default brushes folders from ZBrush and the custom folders that I created. So in other words, on the right-hand side, you see I have my bark and wood collection, the cloth and drapery, global action brushes, fiber mesh. All of those are custom brushes that I have in this category. Now, you can have nested folders within any of these folders. So for instance, you can have the skin folder, and within the skin folder, you can have wrinkles, folds, pores, imperfections, that sort of thing in separate folders, and it would be recognized by the library as separate folders or separate categories as well. So pretty handy stuff. However, what I want to show you is what happens if you add or if you create your own brushes, or if you purchase a new pack of brushes from the store or from someone else, it doesn't matter. You can download those and then you can add them in here as well. So it is important because you cannot have two different folders or two different locations with different brushes. They will have to be within the same folder location that you have already established, because that's where RadialZ is basically syncing. All right, so if I, let's say, go to the ZBrush store, and in here you buy these pack of brushes, the scale brushes, or whatever the case might be, right? Once you download it, you will have likely a folder that contains all the brushes. So what I've done is I've just created a new folder here called comic, and I'm gonna open this one up just to show you. So I have the comic brushes, and those are .cvp files, so it's just like a normal brush in ZBrush, but they are not part of my current setup. So you see, these are new brushes, and if I go back into ZBrush and I bring in my pop-up library, you'll see there is no comic folder, right? Because there is no folder that I synced with the name comic, right? And therefore, the brushes won't be there. But let's go ahead and say that this is the ones that I just purchased or downloaded or created myself. All I need to do if I want to keep things organized is take this whole comic folder, and I'm going to drop it into whatever folder I save all my custom brushes that I point at in RadialZ, right? So this is still the same in there. And now let's go to the pop-up library, and I'm going to click on Resync Library. Just pay attention to the number, how this is going to change. I should have maybe 8 more brushes. I think that's, let me just double check. Yeah, 8 brushes, right? So that's how many new brushes I should have if this works correctly. So let's go ahead and click on Resync Library. And there we go. So it goes from 1,161 to 1,169. That's it. So it recognizes all these brushes. So now if I go into ZBrush and I bring in my library, and we'll have the comic library here, and all the brushes for the comic style are in here, working perfectly fine. So that also means that if I go into the settings, I can create a new menu potentially called comic. I'll do this very quickly. Comic. And I'm going to make it create that menu. And I'm just going to go for comic, and I'm just going to drop all the comic tools or brushes in there. And this conveniently has 8 brushes. So I'll fill all the different slots in here. Save. There we go. Now I can minimize this. And if I press Alt F10, we have the comic brushes. So now I can use this, turn on my comic style, and add a little bit of that, right? So that's how convenient it is. But ultimately, what I wanted to show you is that you can create your own brushes, download a new pack of brushes, free or paid, it doesn't matter. And I would just recommend to keep them in folders so that you know where they are. And whatever folder you have here, whatever name you give to your folders, when you sync your library inside Radials, it's going to keep that name as a category. So you know how to access them and how to find them when you get to the library or when you're building your menus. So once again, hopefully this has been of help, and I'll see you in the next video.